A lot of their CT rounds they won on Vertigo were actually those similar circumstances where they just find some good fights with the weaker weapons. Something like a good strength for Eternal Fire right now. Some of those lower buy round wins.
Yeah, it's definitely something we've seen coming out of them. And if you could pull that out of your back pocket, well, you've got a very exciting asset to your team. Something, a little bit of flair.
The old spam game.
Yep. It's like Vertigo all over again. Or Ancient now as well with those changes over on Ancient. I've seen a lot of it. I'm loving how the Ancient spam plays out though. I find it kind of fun. I think it's a little bit of something spicy. You got to learn this lineup, so it is a bit of a skill.
Ooh. It's damage from XANTARES. He'll get back safely. I said safely before he was back safely there, Dinko, and I got a bit scared.
That's a little bit risky.
But it worked out. Smooth's got a bit too risky in this round, a bit too frisky. WOXIC's been able to find him.
Never want to get frisky with WOXIC. He's going to be able to step up and take it down and go Eternal Fire coming down. The big round here, Fnatic trying to make their way out Monster. Currently in the B defense, they're not really playing from the site. Instead, short for Calyx, and actually gets taken down by Crims, who just peeks around the corner. So for Mezzy and Crims now just Crims, it's not looking too good. Oh my god, okay, Crims. Oh. That is beautiful, but winning the round, still unlikely, especially when you fake tap and give it all time. Just swing into you, and that'll happen. And Eternal Fire with 3 rounds now on the board. Fnatic with just the 1.
There we go. Strong start for Eternal Fire. Eventually, it has been a back and forth start to this game, but they've put themselves in that advantageous position. Good sides for Eternal Fire. Glad to see them get off to a good start here. Even though Twitch chat may think that I'm a biased UKCS fan, I want to see everyone do well, Dinko.
I don't think that.
I'm a nice guy. They did say that. And I can see where they're coming from.
You got a nice
it's because I'm retired as a player since I was 16. I knew that I could never make it. Yeah, actually, I did play on my university Counter-Strike team, which was garbage, but I did play on it.
We watched back that one. It does exist, ladies and gentlemen, out there somewhat. Right now, though, XANTARES taking a good start with the pistols. You know, they got rifles, but they'll give Fnatic a little chance. He'll play with a couple of pistols here and try and get them a shot at this round. And in the end, Smooya will get one on the Glock. Elsewhere, though, his whole team has died, and Smooya has an AK-47. And at this point, for Smooya, it's all about doing as much damage as he possibly can, but should be taken down and out of the round. Especially for Eternal Fire. Oh my god! Okay, Smooya, that is just stupid. That is just filth. And okay, I may have got a little too excited about the possibility of this round, but Smooya has just given us a little bit of a style point right there. That is a stupid shot.
Yeah, I just speechless from that one. Oh, he's got his knife out, gun out in time. They know exactly where he is. So unless he lands some more bangers, this one is done. It's just impossible.
Yeah, there's no shot for Smooya here. He will end up go down, and X-Flound is the man to take him through. WOXIC's off to a much better start now. He's just hitting some great shots, even on the deagles. He's won out that 1v1 with the pistol. But this is going to be enough just to give him that confidence, because we know WOXIC, what kind of level he can provide when he's playing well. And so it's a nightmare when you don't have WOXIC showing up, but he's much better now on this map, and a brilliant start for Eternal Fire, especially with how we talk about this situation and how we come into Overpass as a map where Fnatic should be heavily favored. The only round they've won is that second round investment after losing the pistol, execute. Other than that, Fnatic have been toyed with and destroyed by Eternal Fire. We've got to see something out of them here.
Something I always love, Dinko, on Overpass. Every time there's an Overpass map, I will point out who's playing that A side of the map together. Because look at it, it's XANTARES and WOXIC playing the site together. That is just such a fun time. And XANTARES is already having a bit of fun with that first kill. Even able to get away safely through Connector. That does leave the A site somewhat susceptible And Alex has got his way up onto long, but the rotate is already arriving, so it will be a clean advantage for Eternal Fire.
What is the answer from Fnatic? What do they do about this? You know, you're a player down already. You haven't really got too much map control, so sending a flash into bathrooms. This time, WOXİC is there to collect Mezzi. And so they're off to a really slow start here, Fnatic. And they're using up a lot of utility, and they don't have much left. Just a smoke and a Molotov, and now that that's even been used, the bomb goes into bathrooms. One by one they go, and one by one they drop. Alex has at least found a kill, but Crims is going to fall, and Alex is now the last player who somehow got himself into the A site. But the problem is, the bomb is down in middle, and it's surrounded by 4 Eternal Fire players, so no shot here for Alex. And he's starting to realize that as well himself. And we did have a little genius out there on Twitter, Hawker, Brandon, our boy B-Dog. He said laurel wreaths were typically used as a sign of victory for Olympians or generals. So if you're resting on your laurels, you are satisfied with past successes and therefore don't put any effort into the future.
Counter-terrorists win.
There we go.
So laurel's like a wreath kind of hangs
That's the
around
sort
your neck,
of
I
knowledge
guess.
I need in my life.
So thank you, Brandon.
Makes sense.
B-Dog, the genius. Or a man with a
And-
Google.
Yeah, and maybe Fnatic are resting on that laurels here, because they're 5-1 down. After winning their opponent's pick, it's not been a great start for them. That was a tough round after losing that first fight, because they didn't actually have that many nades left. So they try and flash into bathrooms. They lose another player. WOXİC has been solid so far, though. Like you said, just those bathrooms angles are so solid for Orpers. There's so many positions you can take. It's just a great map to get comfortable on again, and he's done that so far. Here's the aggression, and Brolan spots it out. Had the chance for the second, but thankfully X-Floud in position. Oh, this B site is not looking too hot right now, though. There's only one man here.
Yeah, just Calix. He's alone. Trying to hold down the site. Oh, Mezzi's gone through his own. The spacing's a little off here for Fnatic, and that's allowed 2 for Calix. He's come out with a double, and that turns it right back in. An equilibrium again, but look at X-Floud. He's got the timing on the flank, and oh, nearly gets his kill on Crims. Crims luckily pushes forward into the site himself, and so X-Floud and WOXİC in the 2v2. Smooth is in a good position at water. It's an elevated position, or should I say a position beneath WOXIC's scope. And so this should be a bit of a difficult angle to clear as an AWPer. Smooth has been now distracted by the push-up short, and X-Floud will clear out Smooth, and now Crims' position is known. WOXIC's looking for him. He thinks he went forward, but Crims went back, and Crims has found himself another clutch to add to the tally. Fnatic with their second round. It's anything but close, but it's one they can be happy about picking up.
You wonder if that's the silenced M4 just causing some confusion there, because they couldn't seem to pinpoint that final player's position. I don't think Crims would have even had time to cross to that right side without making noise in the water, so maybe Eternal Fire just couldn't get the right read. Maybe the communication was off, but either way, a really well played 2v2 by Fnatic, and now Eternal Fire's money is called into question for this very round. They have a couple of FAMASs here. If they were to lose this one, they would be in real trouble. WOXIC tried to go aggressive early. You can see his confidence definitely on display, but it's Xantares to go down early mid, and oh boy, Mezzi comes close to a kill.
WOXIC gonna smoke off front bathrooms and peer down into middle itself. Is Brolan going to respect this smoke, though? I think you have to at this point. A 4v4, you don't really want to walk out to the other side of that smoke without knowing exactly what's on the other side. So Brolan just locks down the bathrooms. X-Floud is now joining the AWP of WOXIC as rifle support towards bathrooms, and so Brolan's about to be pinched from 2 sides. X-Floud didn't get too aggressive, though. Brolan's deeper angle has allowed him to stay alive, and no information picked up for either player. But imoRR's elevated position, peering down from the boost in towards Crims. Has got info. He has spotted one. No shots ring out, though. But Crims has been spotted, so they know there's one player down in water. They know it's not a full A execute coming in. And WOXIC, he's going to be peering down. It's going to be Brolan getting taken out of play. And now what's the call for Fnatic with 28 seconds left? It has to be the B play. They've got no time and no control elsewhere. They've got to walk into Calix and imoRRR, who have stacked up accordingly to this B play. And imoRRR is gone for one. Maybe a little too much of a commitment. So now Calix has to do the rest. And oh, the no-scope from Smooya. But it's still 2 more to find. Bomb going down on default. Has to worry about 2 players. One coming in from short on his flank as well. He has to worry about that, and he cannot get the angle. X-Floud comes through, and Eternal Fire win the round. 6-2 now on the board. This CT side has been damn impressive, Hawker.
Yeah, WOXIC just taking so much space in the bathrooms, playing with pure confidence again, which is such an impressive thing to see after his poor performance on the first map. And then I love the way that imoRR plays that, just sitting in the water, because he knew that there was such little time left that Fnatic would likely want to use some nades to set up that B play. So he actually just sits in water, waits for that T-side flash to be thrown, and then once he hears that T-flash pop, that's when he peeks, because he knows someone's going to peek with that flashbang. That gets him a kill. Calyx was set up for a nice frag from the site, and WOXIC again with that confidence, going back to mid and back with another kill.
Yeah, WOXIC is starting to fire up now, and I think all the Turkish fans at home are getting real excited about that one. WOXIC starting to deliver, starting to light up the server, but Crims has come back in with a trade kill. So WOXIC's hard work is undone with a trade frag onto Xantares of all players. Must be weird.
I think Xantares,
go ahead.
just quickly, he's been maybe a bit too aggressive. Like, he's died 8 times. And there have only been 9 rounds. He's just been very, very active around connector and mid. And with WOXIC playing so well, I almost would like Xantares to be more of a facilitator right now for that AWP.
Yeah. As Xantares is either supporting that rifle or just being alive in the late rounds. He can really make a big difference in those scenarios. So yeah, I would like to see Xantares be around a little bit more. 45 seconds. Look at this re-aggression from X-Floud at the perfect time. They started to set up some utility into water, and Crims is caught with his back turn, and he got some info that was more players in towards water as well. This is another rotation starting to come down. It looks like WOXIC going to try and join them on this B site rather sooner than later, and a rotation as well from imoRR starting to come down. This is starting to look rough for Fnatic. imoRR on that rotation down, a flank through connector, has been able to pick up another kill, and X-Floud is put under pressure. He's going to gone out, luckily being held back. Mezzi cannot do anything about it, and Smooya is just locked out of the site, so having to flee the scene, does get tied on the way out. And eventually, we'll get towards the nightclub, but getting into this next round, hot on his heels, they're still trying to chase after him, but Smooya should be good. Get the AK into the next, but Eternal Fire, it just seems like all of these information plays seem to be working out for them, maybe just by that Xantares aggression, but it seems like these mid-round information plays are just working out perfectly for Eternal Fire, whether it be from a boost into water or an aggressive play up the short. They just seem to have a great sixth sense on when to go for that information play.
Yeah, as someone who hasn't seen much of X-Floud as a player, I've been so impressed by the timings he's been able to find on both maps so far. Even on Vertigo, he was finding some good timings on his aggression. There was that one round where he, I think he was him that whiffed that MP9 spray, right? But other than that, aggression's been pretty good. And that's not normally something you would expect when you're picking up an inexperienced player. I was kind of expecting X-Floud to just be more of an aim star, to be honest, considering I haven't heard much of him. And oftentimes that seems to be the sort of player that is picked up. But no, he's got some good nous to his game. He's got some good timings as to when he needs to go ahead and take those fights. And Fnatic is struggling with that right now.
They really aren't. And for now, WOXIC looked like he wanted to go for the early mid-peak. Because he was there a little late, couldn't go for the dry peak, had to wait for the flash. And because of how the time takes on, Smooth's actually got pretty close into middle. WOXIC's had to drop back and now playing from bathrooms. His teammate's starting to move forward here with Smooth rolling in behind him on the Deagle.
Alex is all the way up long. He's in long bathrooms.
Yep, he's going to
I
try
don't know
and
if they
flank.
know.
Xantares is going to go down again and start the round. Oh, Alex nearly whiffs it too much, but WOXIC gets the trade kill quickly. Now this is going to be a Fnatic play where they speed it up surely. They're coming into long, actually just halted it towards long bathrooms. It's going to slow it down instead and not commit off anything. The problem I have with playing like this, though, if you're Fnatic in this round, you don't have any utility. Like, what are you going to... There's no execute to come through. They're going to have to play contact through the bathrooms and try and just popping this one smoke and flash to try and get into the site, but that is going to allow WOXIC to start picking you apart. Maybe a little too aggressive there from WOXIC going for the repeat. He gets caught and traded out by Smooya, so now an open play, and now there is a chance for Fnatic to win this round.
Yeah, you can repeat, but you at least have to have your gun back out for the repeat. He didn't even have his gun cocked again.
Look at this.
Calix's flank may be good, but Smooya's watching.
Oh, he's got a smoke in his hand.
Oh, no.
He's got a smoke in his hand. Smooya's going to go down, and Calix is going to find a double kill. The bomb down as well, and Crims taken out at long. Eternal Fire with an 8th round, and it seemed like Fnatic just sitting tight a little too long there. You know, just getting caught in position. The flanks start to come through, too much time being spent, and not enough awareness. And I think in that situation, you've just got to be aware there's possible flanks, and unfortunately started setting out for utility and just get flanked pretty quickly by Calix. Eternal Fire, again, just getting the right timing so far on the CT side.
I think they were watching for it, but I think Smooya pulled that smoke out at just the wrong time,
And the sound
sadly.
cue as well.
Yeah. Well, so going around again for Fnatic, so see if they can get back to their best. Seeing they're having to pop that flash on mid because WOXIC has so consistently been peaking that position. Yet again, Xantares in connector. He may be trapped in here, though. He's trying to get back. I think Smooya may have spotted him. This is very good timing for Fnatic. Xantares was just peeking mid, but they will use the flash, so he should hear and should be aware of them now.
Xantares just being a little more passive in this round, just jump spotting from Dicebox. They don't really know what kind of buy Fnatic have here. They don't really know what Fnatic
Oh,
are playing
they're hearing
with.
WOXIC run back.
Yeah. So they're just trying to figure out as much info here as possible. Fnatic, I like this boost. They're going to put Xantares up on top into the bathrooms. Can he's come out with a kill? Now they know there's 2 players playing from the side there towards Sign, and it doesn't really matter because WOXIC and Xantares are just taking everybody down for Fnatic. This is rough. This is their T side of the map pick. You know, this should be a much better showing in Overpass, but it just feels like they're going into it with no real plan, Hawker. It just feels like they're just getting wrecked. Just picked apart one by one, just fish in a barrel.
I mean, that is a terrifying couple of players to run into on the A side of the map. Yeah, just take the side away from Xantares and WOXIC. Oh, wait, you've just been out A.
Exactly.
That's kind of what happened in this round. The boost was well timed. I thought Fnatic might hear that, and now Mezzy, oh, he might die after time.
Oh, he is going to die after time. $850 here for Mezzy. Oh, this is not looking that good for Fnatic at all. 9-2 half for Eternal Fire. And yeah, just touching back on that point, you know, you've got the ability of WOXIC and Xantares. It is not an easy duo to try and break apart, and that's what you were saying earlier on. We want to see Xantares maybe supplement that up a little bit. WOXIC and Xantares playing off of each other very well. And I think that the bathrooms, it feels like Fnatic's plays to get into bathrooms control, just get close to A and go for one of these pop executes straight in towards the site. But just as they're setting up utility, every single time they're setting up utility, Hawker, it feels like they're just getting peaked just at the right time. Like, how many times have we seen them just set up smokes outside bathrooms and they get flanked from connector, they get pushed by WOXIC in bathrooms or mid? Eternal Fire just doing a great job at disrupting the game plan of Fnatic. Just, that's what you've got to do. That's what we always say. When you're going on a map or you're up against a favorite who are so well structured on a map or very comfortable, what you need to do is just play this disruptive play style. And Eternal Fire are doing that to perfection.
Looks like Fnatic might go B here. They've got a couple of flashes, Tech-9s at a smoke, and a fast play at the ready.
And look at that. Calix with a 3 that shuts it down immediately. imoRR comes in with a final follow-up, and it's just one. Crims left in Monster. Utility dumped upon him, and imoRR in with the double kill. 10-2, and Eternal Fire turned this around completely. Fnatic floundering, trying to find rounds desperately here. And what a story it is. We talked about Xantares and WOXIC. That's a duo that we've wanted to see for so long. That's a duo that the Turkish fans have wanted to see play together for so long. Back in the Space Soldiers days, the WOXIC move never really happened, right? So then obviously they went their separate ways, and now back with this Turkish super squad. Time to see if they can pop off again in the CT half.
Switch up from WOXIC in this round. He's gone over to B with the AWP. And WOXIC has just pushed through a smoke into B short, which is very ballsy. It means they'll have some early info here that Fnatic haven't taken water. Meanwhile, up on A, it's xFloud who will take position instead of WOXİC up on this A side of the map. Not bad nade into mid. Seeing Fnatic continue to use a fair amount of utility early to gain this map control. That hasn't been the problem, though. It's been the site takes that they've struggled with. And xFloud with the AK might be able to be caught off guard, but Brolan's alone. No one ready to trade him. And now xFloud will put the smoke down and try and cause even more trouble here in the bathrooms.
Oh, good repeat out from xFloud, getting caught by Smooya. The flash actually connected onto xFloud that walks it through, so a little misplay there from Eternal Fire on some of that aggression. And they had the advantage, they had that player to the good, and still felt like they need to make a play like that. It's caught out, and so Fnatic back into the 4v4, but Calix, how good has he been on these Anchor plays, Hawke? You know, Calix has just been that stability for this side. Anytime they go B side is closed.
Alex is up long again. WOXİC has to be careful because Crims has caught him out, and there was no one else on this A bomb site. Xantar is rotating, but Alex is so far up, but he can't get the kill. Thankfully, Crims gets one back. It's into a 2v2, but oh no, the bomb! It needs to be planted!
Is there enough time? Oh, is there enough time? There just about is. Just the final second as the bomb goes down. And I talked about Calix in his Anchor plays, but can he pull off the clutches? He's got one flash into this 1 versus 2. Fnatic desperately need this round, and they're not looking the right way. They thought he was coming up the stairs, and Crims gets caught. Now it's Smooya, he goes down as well. And Calix in with a 3K. The 1 versus 2 clutch, and Eternal Fire with an 11th round. And Fnatic with Heartbreak. That's a round you cannot afford to lose. This is horrible for Fnatic.
This is the round where Alex's long play is finally able to get into a good position, finally able to get a favorable fight, and then he's not able to get that clean kill he would have wanted. Still turned into a 2v2, but it's another scenario where Fnatic aren't fully able to keep track of where those Eternal Fire players are coming from. They were lucky they didn't just lose the bomb instantly on that bomb plant. They just about get it down, and yet still Calix pulls through for the team. And Fnatic are done with the slow plays, it seems. They're taking B short control early, and they may just group up around this B bomb site. If they do, though, Xantares in connector could be a very fast flank.
Oh my god, look at that, man. It's absolutely perfect, but the boost is even better as he finds Calix towards the barrels, and more towards short as well as Towers, and more finding kills between them. Looking a little rough right now, but Messi tries to pull it back, couldn't quite snap onto the second, and now Brolan in hot pursuit against xFloud brings him down, and now it is going to be Xantares and WOXİC, that duo we're talking about all day long to try and pull this one back. To pull off the retake once again, Fnatic into a close situation. Another round they can't afford to throw away. They need at least 4 at this half, I feel, to make this comfortable. So every round left on the table needs to be theirs. And Brolan, he looks back at Monster, but he's unable to take down the Monster that is Xantares. And finally, the headshot is in. WOXİC in the 1v1, and Brolan finally saves the day. The young Swede with a headshot, and Fnatic get a third. It's a desperate half here for Fnatic. They're getting into the sights. It just needs to close them out. And finally, in the 1 versus 1, by the skin of their teeth, they find a third round.
It looked like Alex just decided it's time to just go for something grouped faster, just rely on our ability to trade frags. And even though it turns into a somewhat scrappy round, Fnatic will be fine taking that round win. Even if it has to come down to the clutch, they'll be just happy getting rounds at this point, even if it's not in the manner that they may have been expecting. Back to B short again. Oh, xFloud spots them. Eternal Fire have this aggression at the ready, but imoRR just not ready for that angle. Crims gets a freebie at the start of the round. Oh, Smooya had the chance in connector, but Xantares strikes again.
On Xantares getting away with it as well. Oh, he runs back up Con. I said he got away with it, but Alex on the tap, but how are you going to expect WOXİC in that position, Hawke? How are you going to expect him towards long? Alex just had no idea and the AWP eliminates him, but that's information that one player is very far away to rotate back to B. They've got a chance here for the 2v3 fight onto the B side, and that's worked out perfectly. Crimson Mezzi have taken down the 2 remaining players, and they knew where WOXIC was. He has rotated quite quickly over here, to be honest, but that smoke up into heaven starts to lock out his chances, because now he has to come in from lower. He has got a full set of utility for this retake. He's also got a kit. Problem is, 3 players in an AWP coming in from one isolated angle. It feels very claustrophobic right now for WOXIC. It's unlikely he's able to make enough space to get this round win. You'd have to try and use that utility towards short, and that isn't going to come through. Brolin peeks into him. 11-4 half. Fnatic, they scramble a few towards the end, but it's undeniable this half was solid from Eternal Fire. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back to see if Eternal Fire can pull off Overpass. An 11-4 half from Eternal Fire is certainly a result that is surprising to me, Hawker, because they just had a pretty lackluster first map of Vertigo, which was their map pick, and we talked about how Overpass was written in for Fnatic. This is the map they're most comfortable on, and yet it is anything but comfortable in that first half. They've got a lot of work to do here on the CT side, Hawker. They've got to get off to a good start with a pistol win.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it, Dinko. Really need to get off to that strong start, and they have taken away a lot of Eternal Fire's territory towards mid. This smoke is being set up. Calyx has the bomb. If he doesn't get a move on, this could be a big problem because the flank is coming.
And Smooth,
I think he'll make it away.
Will he get in behind? I mean, at this point, if he wants to get in quickly, he would have to make a lot of noise. I think at this point, it's fine to speed it up, Smooya. There's two players now coming in from behind. They've got to do a good job here, Fnatic, at just delaying, just making it uncomfortable for Eternal Fire. And Smooya has got in on that flank. They have no idea. Smooya's whiffing, though. Finally hits the headshot. Calyx is down. Now they're looking for their second victim, imoRR. Has found Broden. Finally, the first player, Fnatic, drops and hits the deck. The 3v2 as Fnatic still hold the advantage, but Eternal Fire have doubled up in towards short for the post flank. And this is not an easy position to force them out of. They can play that sandbags and ramp setup, and that just makes it difficult. But Messi hits the headshot, but there's no kit on his back. Xantares just playing the time. 3 kills in this pistol for Xantares, and he's won it. Eternal Fire will win the pistol round, even with the 2-man flank. It's not enough for Fnatic to get the round win. No kit, no time. And Eternal Fire, they pull it off.
That skill shining through for Eternal Fire. They had a man in connector on the Eternal Fire side. They had xFloud holding that flank from Con. So they were basically just relying on the fact that Fnatic would try and flank through connector. They were hoping there wouldn't be that push all the way up through A long, which is quite rare in the pistol round, so you can't blame them for not expecting it. But it still worked out okay for them because they were able to get players onto B short, even though the players on the site were kind of screwed from all angles. The players on short are able to close it out. And now Fnatic kind of just need to win one of these force buy rounds. Otherwise, it might be done and dusted here. At least on this map.
Kind of rough for Fnatic at this point. I think this will be one of the weakest showings on a map since the addition of Smooya. It's done on Overpass, a map that we often didn't look so comfortable on Eternal Fire. They've got to be proud of that CT half. I think they did a fantastic job at just being so disruptive throughout that entire first half. You know, we're looking at poor Smooya setting up a smoke execute. Immediately, as soon as he looks away from connector, Calyx is just right behind him, of course. Now they're setting up a smoke execute for the A side. Alex gets out towards long, and then suddenly there's a push in bathroom. It's just happened constantly, and so it's on Fire now going for this B play. Alex is throwing the molly down at the right time, but he's under so much pressure. They just run through it. They disrespect the utility, and Alex is the only player here. They stacked out the A site, and Alex goes down. Fnatic now with a 4v4. Has to be a retake though, and they've got no kit, no utility. At this point, do you just save if you're Fnatic? Because you actually have something to play with in the next round, and it's impossible to win this round at this point.
I thought we would see that save call, especially because Crim's had that CZ towards CT. That's just not a fight you can be taking towards the bomb site. Maybe if that connector player gets a kill, if Brolan gets a kill with the Deeg, then you can start to commit. But pushing there with the CZ, never going to be a favorable fight. So Mezzi and Smooya are stuck saving. Good performance for Eternal Fire. Just look at the kill distribution right now. We were praising xFloud earlier on. He has now been overtaken by everyone on his team, but mainly just because the kill distribution is so even for Eternal Fire. It comes back to what you were saying, Dinko. They've been very disruptive. That was the perfect word for it throughout that first half. They never let Fnatic set up those plays that we know can be so successful for this Fnatic squad. You know they're going to want to play with those executes. If you just deny them at the right time, you can cause real issues. It was a bit surprising seeing Fnatic just so often go towards A, though. Felt like the majority of the rounds were put into that A site. I thought at some point they go back to B. It was only late in the half they went to B, where they got a couple of rounds.
It's like some desperate attempts to go B as well in some of the low buy rounds, trying to just force the issue and run through Monster. But as I pointed out at that point as well, Calyx was just pretty solid in a lot of those B holds against the lower tier buys. Here we are at 13-4, Eternal Fire. Haven't been able to pick up the man advantage in this round. xFloud starting to make his way out towards Stone and Smooya, just peeking down with the scout. Just not really too many opportunities for Smooya at this point to try and pick these up. Now the setup for the pistols in towards the fight. Mid, Brolan and Crims, they've got the double. The flash assist from Mezzi. It's behind the WOXİC, allowing for the easy pick to come through. But still, even with those advantages, it's still very difficult to win the round because they haven't been able to pick up any upgraded rifles.
That shadow advantage was so nice for them in that long bathrooms position. They spotted that shadow just as they were about to get flashed in. They knew exactly where that close player was. And with Alex pushed all the way through B, they can stay stacked on this A site. That could be all that Fnatic need to cause an upset here.
Smooya and Crims. Two plays holding down the site. Ball goes down immediately as Crims able to take the first, and Messi comes in with a D goal. It's all on Calix again, but 9 seconds to try and win this out. Smooya swinging, realizes he can just peek with a USP. Probably could have just stayed alive as well, but Smooya with the kill. Just the style points, and Fnatic a much needed low buy round win. They just had a couple of P250s and a scout in play, and they made it happen.
I think Crims may have just timed that shot with the steps, because I'm pretty sure he was still blind when he got that kill on the P250. But maybe just knew that he was at headshot height, pulled the trigger at the right time, and that was such a key fight. Because if Crims goes down early, then you're on the back foot on those trades, and it's going to be much harder to win out the round. But instead, it goes their way. And now they have got these guns out early, and they have got a chance to build something here on this CT side. Antares, though, oh no, sneaking up on Smooya. A big oversight at the start of the round for Fnatic.
Smooya has been very quiet so far here on Overpass. Hasn't quite got off to the races yet. And he's out again on early round of the CT side. Brolin has been the difference maker in a lot of these rounds alongside Crims. It's been the Swedes charging forward. Brolin did make noise in the bathrooms. WOXIC holding the iron call from TopCon. Couldn't quite get the pick though on the short peek out at Divider, where Brolin's actually managed to get out of the bathrooms. That's the best play for Brolin, just to get back to safety there.
He's even going to push up towards A long, which means he could get some late round information if he were to go for the play. It's the AWP on the other side about to peek his position, and that shot from xFloud is massive because now Fnatic don't have the info. That 1v1 fight causes the rotate up to A, but Eternal Fire themselves are still sticking around on this A site.
Yeah, they feel confident they can finish on this A site with a strong execute. Messi did have that warning system towards long, but now that's gone, and so is Eternal Fire. They're leaving the A site. Let be hit, and Crims, he's ready for it. He's got one. Trying to transition in behind the pillar, and eventually gets taken down by Calix. Bomb in the open because Alex is still down here, still at Graffiti, making the Khalil look like an AK, and he gets a 3K. xFloud missing the shot gives Alex the chance, the second win in 6 rounds for Fnatic. They had 2 players still down on B. They got Alex down quite quickly when that rotation happened, and just getting into that position, Crims, all he needed to do there, Hawker, was just stay alive, and he did that, and he even got a kill out of it.
That's all about the re-aggression from Mezzi into bathrooms. As that A execute was coming in, Mezzi was pushing up through short, and he called instantly, guys, this is a fake. He saw no one. And with such little time left, Alex is instantly running back to B. Crims was rotating away from B, but he was called to stay in position just in time as he crossed back over to the monster side. And because there's such little time left, Eternal Fire are all funneled in from that same angle, having to go for the desperation push without the proper nade setup. And that means that Alex is in position to shut them down and put Fnatic back on track.
Yeah, great awareness from Mezzi, showing his understanding, level of game senses he's got right now. Once he lost that early emergency system of Brolin towards long, he knew he couldn't really sit back behind Dice, so cool to see out of Mezzi. And in this round, right back down to Glocks and P250s here for Eternal Fire, so that really could be a round that gets Fnatic going on the CT side. It's still going to be a very long road back into this. It is cool to see a UK team put together. Obviously, chat are going to love the fact that, you know, we're from the UK, but, you know, it is cool to see a UK team put together and finally playing with a roster that's majority UK. Even the coach, Keita, coming in as a UK coach. So, cool to see this coming in for Fnatic, and it seems to be working quite well.
Yeah.
But I still feel like the added X factor, that spice that can be brought into the team, is still Swedish. I think Brolin's skill ceiling, we don't really know where it's at, and Crims, man, we know what he can do. So if he's playing to anywhere near the level we know, I feel like the best players could still be Swedish.
You know what I love about it, Dinko? Is that Fnatic, okay, we were a UK organization, but for the longest time, it was just a Swedish lineup. You know, it reminds me of back in 793 when the Vikings invaded Britain. We took our time, Dinko. We were the whole time playing the long con to get it back to a UK team. We did it. We took them back from the Swedes. I don't even care if the team's good, Dinko. It's a UK team.
Yes.
That's all I needed.
Now we got to conquer the Danes, and that always takes a bit longer, doesn't it? So
yeah.
there's too many of those. They've overrun all of our villages, but 13-7. Eternal Fire's gotten round. They've taken water control at the beginning here. One winning in towards con, so it's a nice setup just to try and deal with some rotations down to B, but they're trying to play up through short, just trying to force some of the fights. And so far, it's been Fnatic winning all of them. The trades here and there for Eternal Fire, but all the important ones have gone Fnatic's way. Because of that, they've got the man advantage. And the sting in the play is gone. Eternal Fire now have no real control. Xflown is on the other side of the map, so they're not even playing together at this point. The bomb's down at B, and Xflown's just looking for a pick. But Fnatic right now in a very comfortable position. They know they can just sit back. They've done all the hard work. They've got themselves the important early fights. And now just looking to try and stay alive and make this one happen. 8 rounds for Fnatic. Starting to look at this comeback, Hawker. Obviously, this just one isn't done yet, but they have to try and lock it through. Eternal 5 now grouped up and are going back over towards A. They've got the bomb, and they actually got to leave. Now, that is a little worrying, but rotations come up here for Fnatic.
Ooh, Brolan's gonna smoke B. I thought he might smoke B and come back to A, but
oh my god, look at this.
Smooya, and he's getting snuck off. Oh,
it's loud! Smooya nearly had the right read. Well, he did have the right read. Couldn't quite get the kill, though, on the second player of Xfloud, but Smooya with one shot enough, charging right in his Brolan. He even denies the bomb plant. Wow. I don't know if Xfloud came off the bomb, or he just committed to, or just at the last second, Brolan got him off it, but yeah, just denying that bomb plan is extra money, not in the bank accounts of Eternal Fire. And that extra money could have been the difference to get a couple AKs out here. You know, look how much cash they needed just to get into the AK territory. It was only a couple $100. So, big move that for Brolan, denying that bomb plant. And great round coming out of Fnatic.
I would like to see some timeouts from Eternal Fire at some point here. Fnatic were the ones using a lot of timeouts on that first map.
Yep.
Eternal Fire haven't really used many of their timeouts. I don't remember them using a single one so far. And this is the sort of time where the game's starting to get out of hand. Okay, Brolan.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see that, and especially because what we've seen over on Vertigo was the CT side aggression from Fnatic that was just so good, in particular Brolan, who we just seen getting a kill out towards long. He is a player that was finding so much success on those aggressive CT plays. Fnatic can start getting into that system.
Hey.
Ooh, okay. Big whiff from Smooya.
He's been missing some shots on this map.
It's because he broke his keyboard. And his mouse, probably. I hope we've all seen that rage clip of Smooya.
Dude, it terrifies me. Why do pro players not realize all of your value is in your hand? You need your hand. Like, do not be messing around with your hand, everybody.
Yeah,
seriously.
I remember I actually was doing an Asian RMR event one time, and was it a Mongolian team called Checkmate, and they qualified for the RMR, and in the game they qualified for the RMR in. One of the players celebrated by hitting the desk, broke his hand. Ugh. And just couldn't play the next competition, couldn't even play in the RMR. So what happened was they picked up this young up-and-coming star player called Techno, and he came in and he just outplayed everybody. And so the player that broke his hand just didn't even get a spot back in the team. So, yeah, don't punch your desk, everybody. Bad idea. Eternal Fire got a bomb plant in that round, Hawker, so now they've got a lot of money.
Pretty impressive, yeah, honestly. WOXİC still doesn't have a helmet, sadly, so he could just get dinked and died. Dinked and die, excuse me. Yeah, if you're gonna celebrate, honestly, you can do anything else. You can kick something.
Kick your
I don't care if you break your foot. Yeah, that's fine. Just don't kick him in the hand, and we're all right. I guess in-game leaders need their brain too.
I mean, we see Captain Mo,
leader
another Asian player who broke his leg or something. It was first ever event we did. We see him rolling around in a wheelchair. He could still play because, most importantly, his hands weren't injured.
Exactly. Exactly. Eternal Fire are slowly playing out this round. They've taken the B short control early to leave their options open.
Well, this is a cool
Interesting
boost.
setup from Fnatic. Get that info. It's clear.
That's a stupid angle, though. Like, imagine the CTs. The reaction you've got to have to flick up there. We'll definitely see that come through, I'm sure, in the future again. So slow and tentative.
Smooya, what is Smooya doing, bro? He's got the AWP on long, so committed.
You know,
He's so ballsy, man. I would never make this play.
let's see if Smooya can get in behind him. They're trying just
All the timing.
make it happen. But yes, this AWP, once you're in a tight position like this, there's no falling back. Smooya's got to use the cover, and this is the perfect peek. Surely finds at least one here. He's going to find info. Oh, he's whiffed! He's whiffed again! Smooya not hitting the shots at all, and another missed shot. Oh no, Smooya, that was the perfect play.
No!
The flank goes in, and now he runs right into X-Cloud. A nightmare round from Smooya. Like, no, not what you like to see, but Alex is flying. He's looking to try and pick up the scraps. Eternal Fire now charging in towards the site. The rest of the Fnatic squad are holding on. They're getting enough kills, and Alex again trying to get in behind, but Messi stealing all of his kills. Just WOXİC in a 1 versus 2. 8 seconds left, not a lot of time here for WOXİC. He's scared about Alex's position. Nice quick shot onto Messi, but Alex was at long. And so 13 to 10, Fnatic now have their 10th locked in. And actually, it's kind of good there that Alex doesn't get that kill from long. And because he had the M4A1S, WOXİC doesn't actually know where Alex is. Yeah. If the kill would come in, he would have confirmed the position of Alex and knew that he wouldn't have to look at the flank. He could maybe focus straight away onto the site. So that's just a little detail that you might miss.
I'm still just so surprised that Smooya makes that play flanking with the AWP. Because if you run into those multiple players, best case scenario, you get the 1 kill, and then you're probably going to get traded. But in that scenario, he gets the chance, doesn't get the kill. This time, though, he's peak monster, and that will pay off for him. No flash onto his position, or at least not one that was good enough.
He's just peaking again.
He's finally hitting shots.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this thing actually works now. That's good. You need to recalibrate the AWP. Oh, Smooya, there we go.
Target acquired.
Another one for Smooya. And yeah, I mean, this is a round where, okay, Eternal Fire obviously don't have the best buy, but it's a great round for Smooya to pick up some confidence as well. Realize, okay, I can hit shots. I can be able to pick these up.
I think it's broken again, Dinko. He just missed.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, no.
But he is getting himself in good position. So that long play, it was solid. You do want to see that out of Smooya because that is his playstyle. You know, if you try and tell Smooya not to play like Smooya, well, what's the point?
What's going on here?
He's just peeking everything. He's just getting aggressive.
Why did Alex have a smoke out? Why is no one hitting any shots? I will never know. Well, Smooya's back.
Yeah, he's back, and he's got some kills now on the board. The tactical timeout, there we go. First in for Eternal Fire. You wanted to see that, Hawker. Let the coach have a little word with them, because obviously things have become pretty rough after such a strong half. They've let Fnatic back in on the CT side, and you never really want to let that happen. So for Eternal Fire, it's all about trying to get back into this one. And their coach, who'll give him a shout out, is Bishop. Timiro Bishop Sengul. I don't know if I pronounced the surname correctly, but Bishop having a say here for Eternal Fire.
It's also honestly just important for Xantares as a new IGL, because this is that tough scenario as a caller where you're running out of ideas and you can't seem to win rounds, and you maybe just need a little breather to come through and say, okay, let's just go ahead and have a decisive call. Because inexperienced callers can sometimes just struggle to come up with the solutions when it is all going against you. That's the hardest thing about being an in-game leader. You have to do it all the time. You always have to have a plan, even when it's going wrong. Let's see what Xantares can conjure up in this round.
Pretty wild to me that it is Xantares. I would have expected Calyx maybe to take up that role in this team, but Xantares has actually been playing pretty well individually throughout this team's history, posting a 1.29 rating over the last 3 months. WOXIC is the closest at 1.09. Look at that aggression from Roland and Crims, just perfectly timed. That Swedish synergy, making it happen. Crims has got in with one, but his teammate's down in connector. And Crims needs to be careful, and he can't get caught out here, and he will. X-Floud just hitting the shot. Smooya, of course, coming down connector, is able to find himself the reply, but gets a little too aggressive. And WOXIC is able to find that kill. They've just thrown around into the wind here. Eternal Fire looking for 14.
Smooya there, not ready for WOXIC's position. He had a 5-7 in hand. But this round isn't over. As he knows that there was the one man who planted the bomb, he has nades, but he doesn't seem to have an idea of this position. He's looking back, but Calyx hasn't been spotted, and Mezzi will overlook that angle. Good reposition from Calyx. I believe he was the man that planted the bomb, so very well done to get into that different position. Eternal Fire just 2 rounds away. This game has come close, We are coming down to crunch time now.
To be honest, that should have been a Fnatic round. You know, I feel like they should have been able to pick that up. They had more control. They had all those early picks. Smuya, just if he doesn't re-peek in towards water, I think they just stand. I just think they win the round. It's just a little unfortunate. They're a bit too aggressive, but Eternal Fire, they're going to try and go for some mid-control. Brolin, look at this. He's all the way in playground. They have no idea. There's no way you're expecting Brolin to be here right now, and he's going to go spam again. X-Flout down. WOXİC quick in the reply. And now Smuya looking down the mid position. He needs to be careful. He'll get caught out. Xantares looking to chase after him. Smuya does get back into the bathrooms, and Mezzi alongside of him. At least they've been able to keep the 4v4. Again, that aggressive play from Brolin. You do love to see that confidence coming out from him.
That works for the early frag. Had the chance to take another fair fight too, so can't complain with the play he made. Ooh. This is also normally a map where Mezzi is oftentimes a real standout, actually. This is the map where he always seems to have a good performance, except for yesterday for Fnatic, where he had a really rough game on Overpass. Generally, It's a map that he tends to do very well on. Pretty average so far, but it's the B players that may have to step up on the hold this time. Fire still sneaking into Monster.
Crims, oh, Alex getting gun out, getting to come around the corners of towers, just peeking down, and luckily Crims has dropped back from short, so he's able to get one kill. Would have loved to pick out of Alex. If he just gets one on that monster play, it gives him such a huge advantage into holding down this B-bomb site. But Crims is now trying to do it all. Crims with another headshot. The aggressive play from Alex up short has not worked out, but Xantares is taking matters into his own hands with the kill onto the bomb plant. And now WOXİC looking to cover him off. They brought down players so low on health, and Mezzi, he just commits to the fight alone and ends up just going down. He had such a good chance because WOXİC wasn't even looking anywhere near Mezzi. That should have been a free kill. And now Smooth is gone. He's happy to save the AWP. And Eternal Fire, they're on map point here on Overpass.
Has to be the instant headshot when you're in those scenarios. Otherwise, WOXİC snap across, even if it is to the body, is enough to get the kill. Smuya has to back away. Eternal Fire one away from bringing us to that third map. It would be Inferno as that decider if we need it. And honestly, Fnatic will be okay with that. They would love to close it here. But this is a map, Inferno, they actually even picked recently against Complexity. So they wouldn't mind that as a third. But they will be a bit disappointed that their map pick hasn't gone according to plan. And, oh, we've got a Krieg on the server, Dinko. I'm already a big X-Cloud fan. And he's making me a bigger fan. Oh my god, a P90? Get that out of here, Xantares.
Yeah. Yeah, that you're not happy when you see a P90, but a Krieg, certainly so.
That's just wasted money now, though. Like, if they lose this, Xantares has got no money in the bank.
Yeah, that just shows how confident Xantares is that he's going to win this round, you know? Just buy a P90, throw it on the ground.
Definitely not a misbuy. Definitely just flexing.
Yeah, at this point, Eternal Fire just going to go back to that slow default stance. It has actually been working very well for them. Other than when Brolin pushes into playground. It's been a pretty respectable start to play. imoRR trying to get it towards short. Too far off getting that opening kill on Alex. Has to back away now. It doesn't want to stick around. Doesn't want to get caught out. For Fnatic, this is a horrible buy right now. This is not where you want to be at this scenario. 4 rounds in a row needed for overtime. Eternal Fire. Just taking their time, throwing some utility. That long smoke going down to deny some information from Brolin, but they're actually playing on the front of it. Look at Smuya.
Yeah. That's not going to work. Smuya's going to get the info.
Both of them are on the other side of it.
Exactly. And Fnatic, you can see on the minimap, is starting to send reinforcements down to B. Mezzi's arriving with one more rifle. Brolin could also rotate. If they start to hear nades towards B, they've got a fast flank.
Yeah, this is a good setup right now for Fnatic. They're going to try and molly out barrels, but they're going to go for the double play towards Monster. I thought they were going to try and phase that smoke, as we so often see from teams. Crims is going to do it.
Low.
Crims is doing it right now, but here go Eternal Fire into B. They've got to try and make this sing, and so many players here to just try and delay the time. Run it down. Crims with one. Mezzi on the lineup gets 3. And now WOXİC, 11 seconds to try and pull off this round. He's got to try and find that bomb as well, and he knows he's been caught between 3 angles. A triangle of death, and Smuya is the man to take the 12th round. And let's see how that affects Antares. Yeah, he's got $2,500 because of the P90, and no one really on his team has enough to buy. So it's not a great scenario here for Eternal Fire. And if I'm them right now, I just take a little half buy. You know, Tech 9 here and there, maybe try fast B play. But for Fnatic, there's their chance back into the game again.
Yeah, that's the upside, is that at least your teammates are also saving here, so Xantares is just going to be on the same page as the rest of the squad. But you never know, if he has that extra money, maybe he drops a hero AK or something. Smoothie with a confident peek into mid off the back of his own smoke. That's a good early kill. We've also got that SG saved into the hands of Brolan, who we know used to love that weapon. It is obviously not as good now with the slower fire rate, but it is still pretty damn good on CT side when you can just scope in. So we'll see what Brolan can do with it here. These are the rounds where the bomb's still in spawn. This is where I wonder, like, has Xantares made any call in this round? I guess probably not. I guess he's just called just default and try and land a 1-deek, and that's not worked.
Yeah, it's just a round where you're just trying to use individual skills across the map and just play across the map, hoping some aggression from Fnatic comes your way, or maybe you're able to force the issue a couple of these deagle fights. But in the end, yeah, they're going to have to go back and try and pick up that bomb. I don't think they found as much success as they would have liked, and it is pretty unlikely to see that success. More often than not, the rifles will shut down these kind of rounds, but Xantares has found a Krieg, and they're sending the bomb to an empty B bomb site. How have Fnatic done that? How has that even happened? Crims is going to get a headshot, and imoRR's going to buy some extra money here for the team with that bomb plant. How have Fnatic left the B side?
He can't win it, can he?
No.
He can't win it, Dinko.
No.
They're taking so long to react.
He has no Kevlar.
No, they can't win it. He cannot.
No Kevlar, no utility, and a deagle.
Dude, if he gets a kill on Crims and Connector, though,
he would get an M4.
Crims is taking his time.
There should be enough players for Fnatic to get back in for this retake, even if that happens. So, imoRR just held back his short. I think he's done his work to get the bomb plant, but other than that, it should be a done deal. Defuse coming through, Smoothie covering off the cross. He actually hit the shot onto Alex. Kind of ridiculous. I don't know what the reasoning behind leaving B completely there was from Fnatic, but yeah, just maybe a little too hot on their feet, try to get up towards A to shut down the round and get into the next one, but it does cost them some extra cash, and now Eternal Fire have a lot of money coming into this round, and they're going to go for a tactical timeout, so they're going to have to come up with something here. I don't think that slow default is the most decisive way of playing this T side, that's for sure, but it hasn't really not worked too well for Eternal Fire. I think it's kind of weird. I think they could go back to that slow default. I don't see too many issues with it right now.
Well, they'll have the chance to talk that through in this timeout. That's the important thing. In that previous round, they did seem to call for that default with the Deegs, but now you have the nades. It is much easier to slowly take that map control. Effectively full utility on board for Eternal Fire. As for Fnatic, they have occasionally been switching their setups. Smoothie sometimes playing down on B in 1 or 2 rounds, sometimes going aggressive in Connector. Generally, he's like to go for the mid play. Smoothie in this round, though, goes straight into Com. There's no one at mid right now. Brolan, I think, will have to watch that for him. Does appear to be that slow play style again for Eternal Fire. The Smoothie tries to take the fight, and now he could be trapped. Oh, just about gets back to safety. Cutting it close.
You know, the main thing here is that no one has lost a player. No kill has gone either way just yet, but imoRR looks to try and change that with his monster play. He's going out solo. He just got spotted by the early warning system of Crims. In behind barrels, imoRR's going to barrel back through the monster smoke and get through to the other side. With a minute left. Eternal Fire, they've poked and prodded, they've tried to find a couple of these opening picks. Fnatic have as well. No one's come out of top. No one's been able to make any of those aggressive maneuvers pay off. And so it will be a 5 versus 5 into the late dying embers of this round. And Eternal Fire look to try and close out Overpass here, or Fnatic force us into round 30. And most likely an overtime showing. Unless Eternal Fire get a bomb plant down. Then they'll have some extra cash to find. And Zantara pushes in towards Bathroom, spams the smoke, and he's come out with the first kill. Oh,
Smooth has
Messi!
peeked into Monster, so they know it's the A play, but they're losing players. Alex finally strikes back. The rotate begins, but they may just have to play retake.
Yeah, Messi gets caught in the open there. It's not in a good position at all. And now the Molotov going in towards the site for Fnatic is not going to extend. The bomb plant comes in. X-Flow gets Alex, and Grims luckily answers back with a spam through. But it's still a man advantage for Eternal Fire. They're looking to try and close Overpass. Fnatic's map pick might just be going the way of the Turkish super team. As Smooth swoops his way into the site, flash out to Long. What can they do here? They don't have a smoke, they don't have a Molotov. Eternal Fire should win this round, no problem. And it is done. Crim's